options with respect to Iran have to be on the table, but we have to make sure that there are as many non-military options available to the President and the Secretaries of State and Secretaries of Defense as possible. So we have to make sure that we actually have not only the right strategy, but we have to have the tools and the resources available, whether they're economic, political, social, democratic. And this is the message that we need to say to Congress. Congress has a vitally important role to play, and Congress showed last year the very important role it played in passing national sanctions to augment the UN Security Council resolution that has put real pressure on Iran and has, as Steve said, raised the cost of Iran doing business. But we have to make sure that we continue for as long as it takes. We have to show the same kind of commitment at this opportunity for fundamental change in the Middle East, the same kind of determination and commitment that we showed throughout the Cold War, an effort that we ultimately were successful in. I think we can have the same success in helping the Middle East transform, including fundamental change in Tehran, but we have to continue to show the same kind of commitment that we did over the past half century. Thank you very much.
My history with Iran begins a quite long time ago when I was President Carter's chief domestic advisor in the White House, and we had the November '79 hostage-taking and the Iranian Revolution, which immediately preceded it, creating the first radical Islamic state dedicated and supportive of terror. This has caused one of the most profound geopolitical changes in our era, one we have lived with now for over 30 years. It's involved 4 sets of UN sanctions over Iran's nuclear program, with the latest discovery only a week or two ago by the IAEA of their development of triggers, whose only use is a military application. They've developed medium and longer range missiles, which threaten not only our allies throughout the region, but also as far as the eastern parts of Europe. They're the leading state supporter of terrorist groups, which threaten the Middle East peace process, the future direction of a Palestinian state, and the unity of Lebanon. I was involved in the initial freezing of Iranian assets after the hostage-taking. During the Clinton administration as Undersecretary of State, I negotiated with the European Union on the Iran-Libya Sanctions Act, and which led to a strengthening of EU dual-use exports to Iran, and was also very much involved with Secretary Albright in developing what we then call the Dialogue of Civilizations and the unilateral allowance of certain Iranian products like pistachios into the United States in the forlorn hope that it would improve relations with a relative moderate as president at the time, Khatami. Unfortunately, it did not. In private life, I'm now co-chairing for the Atlantic Council on Iran Task Force with Senator Chuck Hagel. We've been examining security threats, internal developments, sanctions,